So in the last moments or last minutes of Shiva Asar B'Tammuz, I thought of before we talk about the halachot of the 3 weeks, discuss a bit an idea of Shiva Asar B'Tammuz, the 17th of Tammuz, the fast that we're in. And we know that there's 5 things that happened on the fast of Shiva Asar B'Tammuz. The most known thing is, or the 5 things which are mentioned in the Kinot, in Chazal. The most common is the walls of Jerusalem were broken into. So they broke the walls of Jerusalem. Jerusalem had a few walls, so one of them was broken beforehand, but it took time from the way the city was built. So the Romans managed to get to one area, and then the Jews went to a different, smaller section. So Shiva Asar B'Tammuz was one of the walls that was broken on Shiva Asar B'Tammuz. And then we have other things that happened throughout the history. One of the things was Nishtabu Luchot, more than 3,000 years ago. When Moshe Rabbeinu came down from Mount Sinai, he saw people worshipping idols, and he broke the Luchot, the tablets. And then we have a few things we don't know when happened. Okay, for example, Butal HaTamid. There wasn't any more Korban Tamid. When did that happen? Did that happen around the destruction of the temple? Or did that happen somewhere maybe about 100 years after the story of Hanukkah? Or 100 years before the temple was destroyed, there was a fight between 2 Jewish brothers, Hyrcanus and Aristobulus. They have maybe Roman names or maybe Greek names, but there were 2 Kohanim from the Hashmonaim. And as brothers sometimes have, they didn't get along with each other, but they actually fought with each other. And one of them was in Jerusalem, and one of them was out of Jerusalem, and there was a siege around Jerusalem. In the end, that caused the Romans to rule over the nation, because one of the brothers said to the Romans, "Come and help me fight against my brother." So that's one of the things which brought the destruction of the temple. But one of the things that happened then, so Butal HaTamid, every day they used to, from inside Jerusalem, used to bring down money, and they used to bring to them down from the outside. They used to send up a sheep, and one day someone told them, "You know that whenever you send them a sheep, so that gives them strength," and one day they sent a pig instead, and that was the day that they stopped having Korban Tamid. So mentioned already 3 things. One is the Luchot, the tablets being broken by Moshe Rabbeinu. One is the Korban Tamid, and one is breaking the walls around Jerusalem. 2 other things. Saraf Afostamus et HaTorah. One of the Roman kings probably burned the Torah. And another thing, Hu'amad Tselem Baheichal. Also, we aren't sure exactly when it happened, but they put an idol in the temple, an idol in the temple. So that's 5 things we have around Shiva Asar B'Tammuz. Now, there's like I wouldn't say a rule, but there's a theme. Well, a theme in Judaism. When you see something which is divided, or 5 has 5 parts, you can many times assume that it's 2 and 2 and 1. Okay, 2 and 2 and 1. Even if you could look at the letter Hey, So how do you write the letter Hey? It's like a Daled. A Daled is the geometrical number of 4, right? So Daled is built from two sticks, right? So you have 4, like a small dot on the edge. So that's like you could call it 4 and 1, or 2 and 2 and 1. In Bereshit, in the book of Bereshit, the Gan Eden, and Venahar Yotzeh Me'eden, one river going out of Eden, Umisham Yipared, and it separates, V'haya le'arba'a rashim, it will be to 4 different heads, or 4 different creeks or rivers. So you have one big river, plus it divides into 4 different rivers. In the halachot of Kil'aim, we won't go into halachot of Kil'aim now, but there's something which is called a vineyard. What's the definition of a vineyard? So the minimal vineyard has to have 5 vines in the vineyard. That's the minimal size of a vineyard. Can you guess what will be how will it look like, the vineyard with 5 plants in it? Will it be 1 row? Will it be 2 rows? So if it's 2 and 2 and 1, so 2 כנגד 2, ואחת יוצא זנב. So it's two and two, and one above them, like in between them, above them. So again, we can see the theme of when we have many things of five, so it's many times it's two and two and one. I'm not sure it's always like that. I didn't check, but many times we find it like that. Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai had five students. The Maharal takes it to two and two and one. And many other examples of that this idea. כל ששון וכל שמחה, כל חתן וכל כלה, כל מצהלות חתנים מחופתם ונערים ממשתה נגינתם. Do you know those words? Yeah, from the blessing of a wedding. So ששון and שמחה is one group, two terms of joy or happiness, right? חתן וכלה, one group, and then you have a general thing, כל מצהלות חתנים מחופתם, נערים משתה נגינתם, the people singing together and dancing together and happy together. So that's like a very general sound of voice. So that's just gives the idea. Okay. So Shiva Asar B'Tammuz, 5 things that happened on Shiva Asar B'Tammuz. What will we ask? Can we divide it to those two groups plus 1? So we have things that are connected to the temple. We have things that are connected to the Torah. The Torah is nishtabru haluchot, v'saraf apostemus et haTorah. Apostemus burned the Torah. So it makes sense they go together. We have ha'amad tzelem b'heichal. They put an idol in the heichal, in the Beit HaMikdash. And butal tamid. They stop bringing korban tamid. They stop bringing sacrifices in Beit HaMikdash. So we have 2 groups of 2, which very much seem like that they belong to each other. So what's the 5th one?
Preaching the wall.
Preaching the walls, right?
Isn't that connected to the Beit HaMikdash?
Or maybe to both. The walls are the walls of Jerusalem, not of Beit HaMikdash. Okay, Jerusalem has inside also Beit HaMikdash, also the Sanhedrin, also Yeshivot of people who learn Torah. So it has inside everything together in Jerusalem. So that could be the walls that fell down on Shiva Asar B'Tammuz. Interesting, siyag, the word siyag can be like a fence or gader, right? Or when Anshe Knesset Agdola, when they returned back from the exile about 2,500 years ago, and they tried now to rebuild the nation, they said 3 things. When you judge, be careful when you judge. Make sure you have many students. Siyag la Torah, make a fence for the Torah, which means so people won't by mistake violate different mitzvot. When Nehemiah, he is one of the Anshe Knesset Agdola, he was the same time Knesset Agdola. When he came back to Jerusalem, one of his first things that he did, he built the walls. He built the walls. I think I said here once in this shiur, if you go to Ir David, the city of David, super interesting place to go there. On the evenings, they have a show on the wall, and with fire and water, and I think it reminds a bit Vegas, but just in a kosher way. So if you want to appreciate like a fire show, a light show in a kosher way, and something meaningful, so go to Ir David. But so they have a screen on. They don't have a screen. They put it on the wall, on an ancient wall from the times of Nehemiah. Probably from the times of Nehemiah. He built this big wall. You can see connections there. It looks like a wall of Nehemiah. So that's one of the first things he did, is building a physical wall to surround Jerusalem. And also Ba'asu Siyag Torah, it means build a fence or some wall around the Torah to keep the Torah. So a fence, a wall helps us to keep ourselves in the good place. A wall keeps the nation united together. The wall of Nehemiah, they built it in 52 days. How did they build it so fast? Because each family said, that's our section, that's our section. Everyone built it together. So each one was in charge of their section. Avodah Zarah, the Torah, Tamid, all of them are tied to us being united together, having a wall which unites us together and separates between us and different nations, gives us definition as a Jewish nation, and gives us the fence to say, okay, that's permitted, and this is, we should take a step back. It's probably to ask ourselves, what can we learn from Shiva Asar B'Tammuz for the next day, for tomorrow? What do we strengthen? Okay, obviously, we can't take the luchot and now fix them up together, right? They're hidden, buried somewhere with Aron HaKodesh hidden We can't, the apostles will burn the Torah, nothing to do about it. We can now maybe learn Torah and like we're doing now, learn even more Torah and make sure that Torah passes on to the next generation. But what's the main thing that will connect everything together? And we can say walls. Walls, how do we strengthen the nation? How do we unite the nation? Okay, so that's what walls should do. How do we make sure for ourselves? If I know something is forbidden and I don't want to get to it, so what do I do in order that I won't get to it? If I know that for me it's hard to wake up in the morning, so I do a siyag. Okay, what will help me wake up in the morning? Some say I wake up in the morning very easy. Okay, fine. So each one has their own siyag of something like it's like a wall. It protects us to for things that are important for us to do, and that's maybe a short idea, a small idea we can get from Shiva Asar B'Tammuz. We ask ourselves, what walls do we have for us that we want to protect, to strengthen? You going to add something? So that's maybe a short idea for Yizayin Tammuz. In the next few minutes, we'll learn a bit of the halachot, okay, of the halachot of the 3 weeks. There's no point of learning the halachot of Shiva Asar B'Tammuz now, since we are towards the end of Shiva Asar B'Tammuz. I think some people who are counting the time, so I think we have less than 20 minutes, but that's so halachot of the 3 weeks. And I think we mentioned in the past, I'm not sure if in these shurim in the past, there's no such thing in the halacha really as 3 weeks as we define them today. Chazal put more of an emphasis on Chodesh Av, the month of Av, Shavua Shechal Bo, the week of Tisha B'Av, and Erev Tisha B'Av, then the day before Tisha B'Av. 3 weeks as we have today, we don't always find them in halacha. We find them a bit in halacha. It's more of a custom that started hundreds of years ago. It's not a new custom, mainly in the Ashkenazi world. Since the Ashkenazi world suffered a lot of times from the Crusades and other different pogroms we had in Europe, until today, even. You can say the Arabs, we know that they want to kill us, we know that they want to throw us in the water. Okay, it's fine, so we can protect ourselves. Many places in Europe, and some people say the same thing in the States, people might seem to you like they're friends, but in the end, behind your back, they will stab you. And that's what we had for years and years in Europe, hundreds of years in Europe. Neighbors who were friends. Poland, the Polish try to show today that the fact that they killed people during the Shoah, during the Holocaust, it's just because the Germans ruled them, but otherwise they wouldn't touch the Jews. They were friends of Jews. It's true that there are Polish people, or were Polish people who love the Jewish nation. I worked together with a rabbi in Memphis, and his family was saved by a Polish family, that they put themselves in danger day after day, hiding them inside the house, and Germans looked for them. So it's true that we had families like that, or people like that. But if you look at the history, you'll see pogroms of the Polish people a few years before the Holocaust and a few months after the Second World War finished. So after the Germans left already and Poland became a free place, so they took their friends and killed tens of Jews in different places. And people don't talk about it so much. So part of the reason that the Ashkenazi world, we have Dinei Avelut, halachot of mourning during the 3 weeks, is also because our history that we had, and we to show ourselves how much we need to daven and pray for Beit HaMikdash, for full redemption. Okay, so that's about the halachot, the general idea of the 3 weeks. So 3 weeks, we don't find so many halachot, at least in the Sephardi and the Gemara time. It's more the Rama and other earlier Ashkenazi poskim. For example, can one get married on the 3 weeks? Okay, so can one get married on the 3 weeks? The Ashkenazi custom is not to have weddings during the 3 weeks. It's maybe also some Sephardim don't get married during the 3 weeks because they want to get married in a happy time and not between the two fasts. So get married beforehand or after Tisha B'Av, Tu B'Av, a very important time to getting married, a date. Very hard to get it, and it's very expensive, but there's many Sephardim get married during the 3 weeks, and also some Ashkenazim. Can an Ashkenazi person attend a wedding during the 3 weeks? So I have a family who's getting married in a week, less than a week, and we'll be going to the wedding. Why? Because an Ashkenazi is allowed to go to a wedding done during the 3 weeks. Okay, so if someone has a Sephardi family or whatever, or getting married during the 3 weeks, especially if it's a couple who still don't have kids, so you can attend the wedding, you can dance, you can listen to the music, you can do that during the wedding. So there's no problem with that.
Attending, but not for Ashkenazim to get married.
It's better not for Ashkenazim to get married, but one can attend the wedding. Yeah.
This is because Peru,
Because for their custom, they can get married. It's a Sudat mitzvah. So you can go to the wedding. You can go to the wedding. החשמל קפץ, לכן הכל שם נמס. A question which I saw a few times already. I got a few times people ask me, can I buy things during the 3 weeks? Okay, can I buy things? I need a new shirt. I need a new, I'm not sure, whatever. Can I buy something during the 3 weeks? So Chazal say, Mishenichnas Av Mima'atim Besimcha. When the month of Av comes in, from Rosh Chodesh Av, we decrease joy and happiness. What's the joy and happiness we decrease? So a few things, but one of the things is we do not buy things which have an aspect of joy in them. Yes, we don't buy things that have an aspect of joy in them. For example, socks. I think none of us here gets, wow, I bought these new, unless it's very special socks of the Knicks. Okay, if you buy socks of the Knicks, that's a very special, that special stuff. So that you shouldn't buy during the month of Av. But if it's just regular socks, so no one here is so excited about buying socks. You can buy socks during the 9 days. Something that it makes you happy. Can you a suit, a nice shirt, something you always wanted, a new sofa for the house, something which brings joy. A new, say, if someone has a fridge, his fridge it works, it's fine, it works, it's perfect. But he wants this new fridge that has the cold water and makes for you ice cream and other things. That's something which is a purchase of joy. So we don't do that during the 9 days. We are more machmir not to buy other things also during the 9 days, even if there's not so much joy in it, if we don't need them for the 9 days and if we can do it beforehand. So let's say I have plenty of socks. So I shouldn't buy socks during the 9 days. I should buy it beforehand or afterwards. Unless now I'm going for a trip, for Miluim or something like that, and I need now socks, so you can buy it during the 9 days. Even something which has joy, an aspect of joy in it, you can buy it during the 9 days if there's some benefit, or if you have a damage by not buying it. Damage even means even if it's on sale. Someone asked me, there's a shirt that he wants to buy, usually costs 250 shekels, the shirt. One of the youth. I'm not sure why a youth needs a shirt that costs 250 shekels. Anyway, he said to me, now it's on sale, it's for 90 shekels. Can I buy it during the 9 days? He asked me over 3 weeks. We'll get to the 3 weeks in a moment. Can I buy it during the 9 days? And the answer will be yes. Buy it during the 9 days, but use it and wear it only after Tisha B'Av. So you can, if something like that, there's a sale that won't go back again, there's a chance that's the only time for the sale, you can buy it during the 9 days. That's more of an economic tip, not a halachic tip. Many times sales aren't really sales, as you know, right? 50% off, and just the day beforehand, they double the price, triple the price, and that's 50% off. But if it's a really sale, that kid told me he knows the price. It's usually 250 shekels. Now it's 90 shekels or 80 shekels. Can he buy the shirt? Yes, he knows. So that's a sale. You can buy it. What about 3 weeks? So as we mentioned, on the 3 weeks, we can buy things during the 3 weeks. We can buy things during the 3 weeks. The main problem on the 3 weeks until Chodesh Av is saying Shechianu. Our custom is to refrain from saying Shechianu during the 3 weeks unless we really need, unless there's a mitzvah that just now happened. So a couple had a baby girl, and as we learned in the past, we say Shechianu. So obviously they'll say Shechianu although she was born after during the 3 weeks, right? They say Shechianu for having a new girl. But if we can not say Shechianu, for example, there's a new fruit, I can eat it on Shabbat and not eat it during the week, so we don't say Shechianu during the 3 weeks. In the past, we learned that also people used to say Shechianu when buying something new. You buy a new shirt, you say Shechianu when buying it. So therefore, we shouldn't buy a new shirt during the 3 weeks because we shouldn't say Shechianu during the 3 weeks. Today, however, our custom is to say Shechianu when we wear the new shirt, when we use the new shirt. So That brings us back to the answer. There's no problem on buying something until Rosh Chodesh Av. The main problem is saying Shechianu. In any case, we don't say Shechianu today when we purchase the item. We say Shechianu only when we use it, when we wear the new shirt or new suit or whatever it is. So if someone sees now something he wants to buy, he can buy it during the 3 weeks and just wait with it until afterwards or Shabbat and then say Shechianu. Before we go to marriage, we'll just again end with a prayer. The fact we try to say Shechanu is to teach us nowadays of we aren't so happy in those days. We are davening, and we should be davening. These days will become happy days and joyful days, and we'll see from here. We can look out of the window. We'll see Beit Hamikdash standing there, and we'll say, "Okay, how can we just take a ride, a taxi, light rail to Beit Hamikdash?" And we can do it whenever we want. That's our prayer. That's davening. These days will become joyful and happy.